Alright guys, today I think is day 4 on this bad boy. Well, evening anyhow. Tonight's objective, harnesses. So, it looks like GM did a good job of keeping it separate. The engine connectors are right here. The ECM is right here. And it looks to me like the only thing tying them together is this black plug under here. I'm going to pull it out and we'll see what we get for being able to just take that out without messing with the transmission or body harness. This white plug goes underneath into the cab and then goes the whole way around the dash and everywhere. That's the one that used to be just a bulkhead plug on the firewall there, like my 95. The only thing I know for sure that comes out is this guy here. That's the throttle pedal. Oh, sorry. This guy here, that's the throttle pedal. It comes over and ties in, but it's got a nice plug there too. So that's pretty convenient. More to come. We'll see what happens after I get this guy out. Actually, I'll see if you can watch. I'll just set this guy. Oh, where's a good spot? How about here? Sure. So first thing, I'm pulling all the fuses off the top. Tilt her up just a hair. Just because I don't know how this thing unplugs yet. So I got all the relays out. Next step is all the fuses. At least for that middle plug. Then someday I'll actually post all these videos. I started taking them. It's day 4. I haven't done any videoing stuff. That's all going to be new to me too. Looks like it. These big dudes in the back have a different plug, so there you go. 7mm on the plug connector in the back, and it should just thread itself right out. I hope. It does appear to be unplugging itself. The first one did not because I had all the fuses in it, the white plug. So I learned. Come on. Must not be out yet. Let's keep going. yeah, it's definitely out. Well, so my goal for this truck is to have I'm going to build my own standalone harness. So if I can get just the engine harness out of this thing, I'm going to have it programmed to get rid of the anti-theft and whatever else you don't need for your standalone, so it doesn't go crazy on me. And you can see by my capabilities of just trying to unplug a connector how well it's gonna go trying to build my own standalone harness. Is that fuse part of the circle? I don't think so. Well, I'll cut a couple more things for you and get a better look at it. I'll bring you back after we get this thing disassembled. How about that? Save battery. Well, she's out. It's got these blue thingies in here. Oh, it's got squeezy tabs. So this guy here, I had to do a little prying with the screwdriver, and so that's out. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep fiddling. It's important to note where every connector goes. So this guy here, can you see him? He's down here. Yeah. That doesn't look like it's gonna be fun to try to trace out where it goes to, but it goes somewhere. Looks like maybe a speed sensor or something. And then that goes into this harness. Which is conveniently also part of the transmission harness. So I'm willing to bet. What color are you? Twisted, black, purple, yellow. So in here we have a black, a purple, and a yellow. Which doesn't mean a whole lot because there's a pile of black, purple, and yellows. But and I traced it on the wrong wire. I don't know. For right now, we're going to call that speed sensor. So I'll label it, pull it, and that'll get us one plug closer to getting that engine harness out. And by label it, I mean later, because, well, my tape and everything's back at the house. Alright. This guy's got to come out of here. What else do we have in here? We got this guy. He goes into the cab. We're just gonna unplug him as well. So like I was saying, how important it is to make sure you label everything before you unplug it. There's those ones. This is, as I pointed out before, this dude here, that's the throttle pedal. That's got a nice plug out of sight. But pull him. Got one zip tie to cut and nothing to cut it with. So we're using a knife. Good plan. Okay. That. Around. Here's that throttle pedal connector. It lives right up against the firewall. That is an important one. Do not cut. We got this dude in blue. And then Big Red. He goes from power to the glow plug control. And I think I brought it across. And just like that, the engine harness goes somewhere else. Down. Oh, it goes down to the transmission. Yeah. So I gotta go get some snips. But pull the tranny out, or the tranny plugs out, and then we're done. Regroup in 5. Like that. We got the harness out. It's, like a half hour later, but who's counting? So I labeled the important stuff. This harness part here came off the top of the motor. Come on. So this is probably some important stuff. I assume that the engine's gonna, air conditioning and air conditioning pressure switch and alternator, and then the coolant bottle and stuff's probably not that important. But remove grounds and the stuff for there's the starter. the important stuff here. Here's your TCM. Apparently it is part of this harness. My 2 ECM connectors. These guys were fished up into the dash. This one happened to be a 5-position tuner. This one went to an on and off switch. I'm not sure what that is. I'm sure whenever I get to tearing this thing apart, looks like somebody, well, you can tell somebody's already been in here, but you know. Hopefully the GM, well, I got a Duramax book and a GM book, Haynes manuals. Hopefully one of them gives the pinouts for the computer. That'd be kind of nice. If not, I'll try to find them on the internet and see what they have those set to do. Here's the black plug that went into the fuse block. So that wasn't bad. These are the 2 plugs. I don't know what they do. But once I pull the harness out, I'm guessing they'll go to the TCM, not the ECM. So not a concern of mine. Throttle pedal. That's the important one. Can't throw it away. Can't cut it off. The other half is chilling back here. Where you at, buddy? There you are. So I'll fish him through the dash and then pull the pedal and mount it on my 6.5. But I think this is going to be really friggin' easy, because that's all the more there is. You know, if I get those here and this, and then figure out what power I need from this guy, that's gonna be cake. So more to come on this. It's about time to go to bed. Oh, this whole string here running down, you know, I don't know, I labeled him, there he is, Allison, not needed unless you want to keep the Allison. So there she goes. I'll get this under roof so it doesn't get rained on tonight, and then maybe tomorrow night I can get my 6.5 harness out. I've been around that one quite a few times, so I don't know, it's a lot more messy than this one is, but it shouldn't be awful bad. Same thing, I'm just going to keep what I need to make the gauges work and throw everything else away. So there you go. End of episode, not end of episode 2. End of episode 2, day 1. See ya. So tonight's objective is to get the old cherry picker back in the tractor shed. So that means the LB7's going in the work shed. I got my little Harbor Freight cart here. That went poorly. I think it's gonna fall over. Well, it tried to fall over. That's why I kept her chained up. So I got some bigger casters and another panel. We'll go ahead, make that right quick, and then set her on that and be good to go. There she sits. Cart Rev 2 is just a little bit heavier than, you know, Cart Rev 1. But who's counting? This guy, yeah. He can shake on her pretty good and it'll wobble, but you know, it ain't coming off of there. Little rough to wheel. You know, may have to do some serious pushing, but once I get it where I want it at, tucked back in here somewhere, then it's gonna stay there until we get some ECM work done, and yeah, then we'll try to fire it up in here, weed the harness out, try to fire it up again, and then integrate the harness into the 6.5 truck harness. So that, I don't know when that's gonna happen. Also gonna try to mate the NV4500 in here where it's warm. It's September, and I think next month we're gonna hit snow, so be nice to do that over here. And then way back there is the tractor shed where the 1-ton's at. I gotta do that outside. So I'll see you back over at the tractor shed. Welcome to the tractor shed. Old Johnny's back in here happy. there's the 6.5. I don't remember if I showed this or not, but this is the almighty crack in the block right here. You see it? Yeah. So I drilled this hole and where's my finger at? This hole. In an attempt to stop the crack. JB weld it, but the JB weld just kept delaminating from the cast iron, so I guess that was my sign to put a Duramax in it. So here she be. This harness is going to be a little bit more involved because it carries all the sensors for the dash, water and fuel, oil pressure, temperature, tack, all that fancy stuff. So I'm going to try to figure out how to keep that. I think this alternator, because the 6.5s use the alternator for attack, I'm going to try to make a bracket to put that on Duramax, and I paid a lot of money for that. It's 140 amp or something, I don't know, higher than stock because the stock ones are garbage, so we'll see. Yeah, I'll give you an update when this harness is out. Here's what we got going on. That whole half of the truck is disconnected. I got this guy loose, so I don't know what the newer trucks are like. This is my 95. Oh, it's in a 2000 cab though, so they should be the same. This is not a connector. It's strictly a pass-through bulkhead to keep outside out and inside in. Don't try to take it apart. Back a couple years ago, whenever I 6.5 swapped this bad boy, I pulled the dash. It's got the 2000 interior in it, but it's a 95 wiring harness, and it didn't fit super good around that thingy because the 95s, the dash kind of, dropped down here. I'm gonna do everything in my power not to pull this dash for this swap, and I think I can because all that stuff is out in the engine bay. Anyhow, what we're doing in here is I got the PCM unplugged, ECM, whatever M that bad boy is. There's this other fancy pants white box that, well, I can't remember what I was just looking at. Here's the ECM, PCM thingy do computer for the 95. This fancy thing here is the VSS box. So I like this because if you change tire sizes, you just unsolder and resolder the right resistor in there, and you can adjust the speedometer pretty easy. And try to keep that. Well, I am going to keep that. Everything on this side of the truck is going to stay, minus the stuff that I don't need, because I want to keep everything in here working off the 95 and then just have the engine run and all my feedback come back to the 95 for my gauges. The Duramax will have its own gauges for its ECM so that it can run on its own, and this will strictly see feedback. So right here's all the plugs that I had to pull to get the harness out, and it's ready to go through the cab now. Can't really see out there, but that's her. These bad boys are all from the last time that I did all this. Can't really, that says 1, that says N, maybe 2, and there's a 3. Oh, those are just to identify, 1, 2, and 3 on here. Fancy. Yeah, so we'll yank this bad boy out, get her laying on the ground, maybe ship it over to the shed too, get both harnesses in the shed, and the ECM in the shed. And the only other thing I gotta yank, only other 2 things I gotta yank out of the Duramax are the OBD2 port, which this one has one too. I don't know how that's going to work. I think I'm just going to have 2 ports, but one's not going to really matter because it's not running anything. So I can just get rid of that one, probably just cut it out. And then the other OBD2 port, from what I just learned in reading today, goes into the BCM on this truck. So it's nice I got a perfectly good unhacked example here too to look at in case I completely mess this thing up. I can just root around inside of my running one. That wasn't pre-planned. Anyhow, so that's the LB7 harness laying on the floor there. Don't get too concerned, but here's the, there's the OBD2 port right here. He's got 4 wires. Oh, let me get better at holding this thing. He's got 4 wires in him. 2 grounds, 1 power, 1 communication. Purple's communication, orange is always on power, and the blacks are ground. So, I haven't traced him at all, but he goes likely into the BCM. I'm really hoping that one of those 2 connectors, these 2, that I was not aware of before, the purple and the green, that I didn't label because I don't know where they go, or maybe him. No, not him. But one of these guys hopefully has the CAN bus communication. There's a purple and a black. Not CAN bus. Serial communication. We'll see. More to come on that. But, yeah, every day. One step closer to having another non-running truck. Sweet. Well, this is where we stand at the end of the day. I got the LB7 harness chilling in here. I got the 6.5 harness right here. There's the big old power unit for it. Chilling. We can weed through them, you know, at my leisure whenever I have free time. There's the ECM, and D-Max is just chilling in here. I brought this along too. I think I'm gonna need that for when I go to fire up the LB7 harness. To flash it so I can program my ECM. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But making headway. I think step 1, I gotta get all the Allison stuff out of here. We don't need that. Or wait, no, I think step 1 was trying to start this thing on the floor. I don't know. I got work to do. Anyhow, we'll see you on the next one.